guys, good morning. Welcome to today's forest chat. I am excited to be doing these. I think I'm going to be doing them every Tuesday because I upload a video on Mondays of my weekly forecasts, and then I think Tuesdays will be my forest chat, and then the rest of the week will be like whatever. I don't know, it might change. We'll see how it goes. But good morning. I have coffee. This is my mug of the day, Stay Wild Moon Child, and it has a little moon right there. I was rudely awakened this morning by a woodpecker pecking on the outside of my bedroom very loudly. I think woodpeckers are really cute when they're pecking the trees, but not my house. So, yeah, yesterday was interesting because there was a fire. I don't know, I can't see the smoke anymore, so I think they put it all out. There was like so many firefighters and police officers up here yesterday putting out the fire, and it's scary when we have a fire up here because it's like all trees, and if it takes off, you know, with wind, it can really destroy a lot of homes. There have been many fires up here that have really devastated us. So yeah, I'm sorry if you guys can like hear the wind. It's very subtle for me, but I don't know how the camera's gonna pick it up. But yeah, I'm just really grateful that it didn't get out of control yesterday and burn down my house, because this is like my dream. Everything I love, you know, my animals were in the house. So I'm just glad everyone's safe and that it wasn't worse. But yeah, it's really beautiful today. It's a little bit cloudy, a little bit windy, but it's still like nice and warm. And today I just wanted to chat a little bit about some of my favorite decks right now that I'm just loving. Kind of the aesthetic that I'm drawn to right now. And then talk a little bit about a declutter that I'm going to be doing today. So this deck has kind of inspired me to do a huge declutter because I love it so much. So this is the Embroidered Graveyard. You know, I had seen this deck on social media, and it's something like, the packaging is something aesthetically I'm very drawn to. I have Ouija boards like all over my house, and it's kind of like reminiscent of that. It says goodbye right there, and it has the Embroidered Graveyard, and it looks like a Ouija board. It's really cool. But I just wasn't necessarily drawn to the art right away. The artist for this deck, her name is Alicia. She does embroidery, and that's the art. So she uses embroidered artwork as her art, and I wasn't initially drawn to that, and now I'm obsessed because I saw somebody talking about this deck and how there's like a specific section in the guidebook for spirit communication, like using the deck for talking to spirits. And I was like, okay, I have to have this. I was initially pulled in by that, and it really, like, I needed to have it. And I've been really getting back into my paranormal investigating with decks, like putting my two passions together. And this deck is so good. It has a spot in the guidebook for spirit communication and also for like introspection, like just using it as a normal oracle deck. And so I'll show you some of the cards. These are the backs. I love it with the planchettes, and it has that same like orange gilding. And it's really cool. Like, it has cards like this: sister, mother, brother, grandpa, grandma. But so it's really cool. Like, if you're trying to connect with a spirit and you want to know like what kind of spirit it is, or if you're talking to a loved one, then that's really helpful. But like, I pulled the mother card, and I don't really have any mothers for me on the other side, so I use it as an introspective, in an introspective way of like, I need to be more mothering to myself, or I need to let those mothering tendencies out a little bit more. So this deck is just all around gorgeous. sense. Let me see if I can find my favorite card. But yeah, it even has like cards for like your animal, like if your cat or your dog passed away. It has all of like the solstices or the equinoxes in there. Oh, here it is. Live deliciously with Black Phillip from The Witch movie. Oh my gosh, this deck feels like pure magic in a deck. I don't get this feeling very often. One of the decks that gives me this feeling is the Seasons of the Witch Samhain, which you guys know that's like one of my top 3 favorite decks of all time. And this gives me that feeling. And so sitting down and doing my new moon reading on the 1st, and I use this deck, I pulled from this deck for that reading. That feeling it gave me, that excitement, that like pure magic feeling was just, I mean, it's unmatched. Like, why do I have all of these decks that don't bring me that feeling and could never bring me that feeling? Like, they would have already brought it to me. And to be fair, I'm sure there's some decks in my collection that I just haven't given that chance to, because there are some decks I have that I've literally never used in a reading. So I've never given them that chance to like wow me in that way. And that's fine. Like, those are ones that I could get to know or use if I had less decks and I had more room or more time to work with them. So that's another reason why I want to declutter. So I have more time to work with the decks that I really haven't given a chance to see if it's something I want or not. And then there are a lot of decks that I just know. Like, I just know it's never going to be, like, aesthetically it's not there. I'm sorry if you can hear, like, it sounds like somebody's doing, like, truck work or something. I don't know. So I just know, like, it's not going to be there for me. Like, I'm not going to like the deck, whatever. So today I'm going to take all my decks that I haven't already put into my like curated collection, taking all of my decks off my shelf, and I'm going to declutter them and be kind of brutal about it. Because as much, and I'll probably talk about this more in the declutter video, but as I don't mind having a tarot collection or a tarot library, I actually quite like the idea of having quite a variety of decks. But I don't want to have decks that I don't absolutely love or bring me that magic feeling or are my aesthetic or just like things I'm not drawn to. Like, I have random decks that I feel like when I first got into this community, I was just buying just because, like, to catch up or like to get all the decks. But now I really know like what I enjoy. And so I'm going to be decluttering a big part of my collection that just, I know I won't miss them. They sit there and they don't get used, and it's just like random crap. Like, why did I get that? I don't know. And I think it'll, because I've been seeing a lot of decks that I'm really drawn to that are more my aesthetic, that could fill those spots, you know? I don't need to have this unnecessary amount of decks that I just don't even use. I would like my collection to be something that is very like specific to me, and I just don't feel like that. I don't feel like my deck collection, like most of it, doesn't reflect me or who I am or what I like. Like, I try to just like get one of everything type of thing, and like that's cool, but stuff that I'm not even into, why would I keep stuff like that? Anyways, so we're gonna talk more about my vibe for the summer. I don't know, last week we were looking at the Southern Gothic Oracle, and I had bought the Haunts expansion pack with like ghosts and graveyards and stuff like that in it. And that's kind of been like, again, I've been really excited to do ghost hunting this summer, hang out in graveyards. And I know I'm so weird. But a lot of my decks that I haven't really felt drawn to or whatever have kind of fit that. So I bought this Santa Muerte back near Halloween, and it just didn't feel like a Halloween deck to me, and now I understand why I felt so drawn to it. It feels like a summertime deck to me with the colors, but it's still very creepy. It has that spooky vibe that I'm looking for this summer in a deck. So I think I'll be definitely, I want to do kind of like a deck study with this, because a lot of the cards don't really follow the normal Rider-Waite. So I would love to just sit down with the cards, write down what I feel from them, or like what I think they mean, so I can really bond with this deck, because I really enjoy it. But it's a little bit hard for me, like, to just pull a card and be like, okay, this is the, well, this one's easy. I love this Two of Cups with them pouring the water into each other's cups. And like the 6s and the 9s in this deck are kind of hard to tell, like, which one's which. Like this, I believe, is the 9. Yeah, this is a 9 of Swords, but initially I would think it would be like the 6. But it makes sense as a 9 of Swords, right? Because it just has it right there on the edge, the little number, and then it says like the suit. So I'd love to study more with this, but I feel like it embodies, like, I was trying to look for another ghost deck, like Ghosts and Spirits by Lisa Hunt, which I still might get that, or even like, I think there's a ghost, it's just called Ghost Tarot by David Corsi, I think. But I just wasn't super drawn to that. And then I saw this in my collection. I was like, this is exactly what I'm trying to convey with like this feeling I have for the summer. I'm sorry if the lighting got weird. It just got dark here a little bit. This might be a noisier forest chat. Usually we're very like serene and quiet in the forest, but there's like, I don't even know. People are being loud and there's wind, and so I'm very sorry. People are like doing construction or something back there. Herb Crafter's Tarot. Sorry, my mom texted me. She was worried about the fire and stuff. Okay, so Herb Crafters. This feels witchy and magical and herb based to me, and I've been waiting for spring and summer to use this. But there's the death card in here also reminds me of like Santa Muerte and, okay, where are you? Oh, I love that. Look how beautiful that is. Here's the death card with the sugar skull. I love this. So it's decks like this that make me excited. Like using this in the summertime, sitting out here, I have like a little table over there and doing a spread on the table with like a glass of lemonade. You know what I mean? Like this excites me. It makes me excited. It makes me happy to learn about herbs and be in nature and learn about nature, and it inspires me. But again, this felt very seasonal to me of like spring and summer, so I haven't brought it out until now, but loving that. And the guidebook's really good too. So anyway, just decks like this that excite me, that embody me. Like I love earthy, green, witch kind of decks, or like I like spooky, weird, creepy, witchy kind of decks. So that's what I want my collection to be, you know? And I don't mind having a little bit of variety here and there. Like I'm probably gonna keep an angel deck, and you know, things like that. And there might be a few that I keep just like for, like, I know there's, for a fact, there's a few decks I might just keep for artwork purposes, or like using an artwork, or like I might be okay with keeping it because I support the artist or whatever, you know what I mean? But again, very few of my collection is going to be that. But I just wanted to open up my collection to be able to connect more with things like that and not feel like I have to use all these other decks that are sitting there. I just want to open up my collection so I can add more things that I genuinely love and genuinely enjoy. Like, you know, I'm getting the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle today, and I know they're probably going to be making the rest, right? So that means there's 5 more or 4 more, I don't know. So I want to be able to have room for things like that, because I know I'm going to want all of the Seasons of the Witch decks, you know. And there's a lot of decks coming out within the next year, like a lot of decks that are coming out in October I'm really drawn to. There's like a magical botanical deck that I'm really drawn to that's like so me. There's like a cozy witch deck. There's astrological herbal deck or something. Like there's a lot of decks coming out that are just way more me, and I feel like I was just buying decks to try to find stuff that fits, and I finally found like what I know is gonna work for me. So yeah. I know this has been kind of rambly and weird, so I'm sorry. I like to put videos on like this when I'm cleaning or like just, you know, doing whatever, and have it be kind of like background noise. So yeah, but I want to know, how is your guys' week going? I've just been thinking about the declutter all week, so I'm very excited to finally be able to do that today. So I gotta get ready and get dressed and all that for that video, which I don't want to get ready. But yeah, so yeah, let me know like your guys' thoughts on decluttering, or like what a good number is for you for like your deck collection. Like I know some people are perfectly content and perfectly happy with like 700 decks, you know, and that's not necessarily me. Like I was thinking, I love my Rider-Waite decks so much. Like I would rather replace all the decks I have sitting up on my shelf that don't get used with like versions of the Rider-Waite, just because like I love them and I love having variety with that. So yeah. I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't necessarily mind having like a library or a collection of decks, but I just want them to all be something I like genuinely love, and if I don't love them, they can go to somebody else who might. So yeah, but that is it for today's Forest Chat, you guys. I really hope you have a magical, wonderful rest of your week. I hope everybody's safe and happy and content with life. But I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.